What's up and welcome to another episode of Football Everyday, coming to you live and direct from Studio V here at One Utama. My name is Nelsen, and joining me in the studio today, Mr. Shebby Singh, bro. Good to see you again. I hope you've recovered from the weekend workout.
But still getting away.
Yeah. Right. Football Everyday is of course brought to you by Maybank Premier Account, so thank you very much. Bro, I tell you what, let's start with the weekend's results. With Arsenal beating Burnley by 3-1 at the Emirates. Sheps, I tell you what, again, it was Fabregas, who made the difference in terms of getting a breakthrough, but he got injured again. So how important is he for the Gunners?
Very, very important, so to speak. But the plus point is Fab is out injured now. Arshavin makes a comeback.
Right.
So in the case of numbers, I think they're well stocked in midfield. Right. Of course, you will miss the intelligence of a player like Fabregas. It'll be interesting to see how they get on, especially in the Champions League against Porto. Yep. That will be an indication. Morning, yeah. But I mean, anywhere in the world now, any team will miss Cesc Fabregas, the way he's been playing this season and the way that he has progressed. It was a great performance, unfortunately marred by the fact that there was a fumbling, bumbling and bungling performance from Niklas Bentner, who missed so many open goals. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. Bro, I mean, Bentner aside, I think following some comments that were made by a couple of former greats, that he hasn't learned the game, bro. I got to ask you, what do you think of Theo Walcott's current state? I mean,
well, to be honest, I thought he was very, very poor against Egypt. And I mean, this season, I looked at him and I thought this boy is not progressing at all.
Right.
And I think the comments perhaps were timely.
Right.
And then when he took the field against Burnley, he realized that there is more to football than just blind speed or pure speed. And I'm glad that he's woken up. He's accepted the criticism, taken it on board, and said and showed that he's a much better player. Now the message to Theo Walcott is, do it consistently, because you have the ability, you have the intelligence. There was doubts about his football intelligence, but you can see he has went the way he scored the goal. I mean, that was top class. So do it consistently.
Take your game to the next level.
Exactly, but do it consistently.
All right, but very quickly, what of Burnley? Yet to win away this season. You think they're going to go down?
Well, they were always going to be one of the favourites to go down. Unfortunately, you can see that they give their best, but unfortunately, their best is not good enough.
Right.
Solid, honest, hard-working, average team. Will not miss them if they go down.
All right. Okay, and over at Molineux, Man United had the evergreen Paul Scholes to thank for their 1-0 win over Wolves. Sheps, it's no surprise that Sir Alex has offered this guy a contract extension yet again, right?
I think what matters now is, is not so much he hasn't got the legs anymore, but how you're going to use him.
Right.
And when it came into that situation, when the ball was cut back for him, any player would have wanted to hit it first time, but experience showed there. He controlled it, dummy to shoot, then dummy to shoot again, committing defenders, and he scored. Now that is something that is experience. You cannot buy that. You cannot replace that. And it's wonderful for Paul Scholes. And I think yes, he will play lesser and lesser games every season. But that quality, when it mattered against a very dogged Wolves team, was the key. Let's go back to last season. Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs were doing that. And last season, if you remember, there was a young player called Federico Macheda, who rescued them. So, sometimes youth is important, but most of the time it is experience that's going to bail you out.
Right, definitely agree with you there. Very quickly, what of United's performance on the whole, without Rooney in the side? And Sheps, are Wolves going to go down, do you think?
Well, I hope Wolves go down because I think Mick McCarthy is not the most vibrant of managers. But Man United had to work hard. It was a difficult game for them. They worked hard. And Berbatov, I thought, had another good game.
Right.
But he'll always be in the shadow of Rooney. So, well done, Man United.
Okay, great stuff, guys. Sorry, great stuff, bro. Just one guy today. It is time for our first break here on Football Everyday, brought to you by Maybank Premier Accounts. But we'll be right back with more football chat and banter. So do stay tuned and we'll see you soon. Welcome back to Football Everyday, brought to you by Maybank Premier Accounts with me, Nelson, and Shebby Singh. Bro, moving on with the weekend's results, a Mikel Arteta show saw Everton thrash Hull City 5-1 at Goodison Park. Shebs, I tell you what, perhaps with only the profligate Yakubu aside, I'd say the whole team played really well, right?
It did. I mean, it was a wonderful performance again. They did not miss Cahill or Fellaini at all, and that for me is very, very important. I mean, Everton, we all know, had a big injury problems, but the team is playing so well, and the youngsters coming in as well. I mean, Rodwell, he shows he's got class. Gosling, so the possibilities that are there, and it was a wonderful performance, because I always believe that if you attack opponents, you will score goals, and that's what Everton did.
And Landon Donovan signed off with a goal as well.
Yeah, I think he's been a wonderful addition, although he's only there for a short period, but he's settled in straight away. And why not? Landon Donovan, I think, yes, he did struggle when he was younger in Germany, but now he's showing this maturity. It will not surprise me after the World Cup that he starts the season for Everton.
Right. Okay, Shebs, I mean, Phil Brown's, I tell you what, he's really got his work cut out to keep Hull in the top flight, don't you think?
Oh yeah, I mean, you look at the lineup and you think, this team hasn't got the legs to last 90 minutes. They hasn't got the legs to last 1 hour. You start with Barmby in midfield, you start with George Boateng, Kevin Kilbane at left back. No, I mean, the players don't have that physical ability anymore to play at a tempo that is required.
Bullard was off.
Jimmy Bullard came back after injury. I mean, Zaki, again is a hit and miss. So no, not too much, to reassure us about Hull.
All right. Okay, and just this morning, disappointing Liverpool went down at Wigan by a 0-0. Shebs, I tell you what, this kind of result just sums up Liverpool's season, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? I mean, first of all, congratulations for tipping Wigan to win. When I thought my 1-1 draw was a good tip, but you beat me to it. This is Liverpool. This is Liverpool. Right. You never know what to expect. Every time Liverpool have an excuse, Gerrard and Torres are injured. And then when Gerrard and Torres come back, what are your excuses now? I would like to ask Rafa Benitez. It's been a very, very poor season, despite the fact that they will still finish fourth. But you've got to look at the football and think, this team has gone backwards from the team that almost won the league last season.
Yeah, got to agree with you there, Shepman. Very quickly, what of inconsistent Wigan on the other hand?
That's a strange one. I mean, they are a strange team, because I think, when you look at some, when you look at the individuals in the team, they've got some very strong personalities. Paul Scharner is one of them. Rodallega is another one. But unfortunately, again, consistency is the problem. Consistency is key to anything. And that is what they've lacked. Okay, to be fair to Roberto Martinez, it is his first season. So we do expect more from them next season.
Okay. All right, Sheps, very quickly in the FA Cup, Chelsea beat Stoke by 2-0, while Portsmouth saw off Birmingham by a similar scoreline, with Aston Villa coming from behind to beat Reading 4-2, while Fulham and Spurs played out a ball draw. Bro, and no surprise with Chelsea and Aston Villa, but I got to get your thoughts very quickly on Portsmouth. I mean, look, they're practically dead and buried in the league, right? But they kind of look a different team in the FA Cup.
I think, that is the key. You are playing in a different competition. It's a knockout competition, know. So for 1 week, for one weekend, they are free of any pressure. Nobody is expecting anything from them. They know they are doomed to go down into the championship. But in the FA Cup, it was refreshing. They are already making one trip to Wembley. For all you know, they could make another trip to Wembley because the semi-finals are there. So well done. I mean, and it's a win they deserve. Yes, we'll always talk about the controversial goal from Ridgewell that was disallowed, but it was. They deserve to win, and I'm glad it's Chelsea v Aston Villa in the semi-finals, because as soon as we get rid of Fulham, we'll beat Portsmouth and we'll play in the final.
All right, it's going to be London Derby in the final then maybe. Okay, so let's close this segment with our email of the week that comes from Zol Ikram, who is actually a Real Madrid fan. Zol believes that on current form, Ronaldo and company can turn the tie around by beating Lyon at home in the second leg. Bro, you agree with Zol? I mean, Real Madrid?
I think, to be honest, it's going to be very difficult. They are one down from the first leg. You need to win by 2 goals. But, I just hope Real Madrid, don't decide to try to win the game in the first minute. Because the way they are set up, Real Madrid are a very, very attacking team. And if they, in my opinion, if they go out and try to attack Lyon too early, or rather, become impatient, I think Lyon could hurt them. Lyon are a very, very well organized team. So it's difficult. But having said that, I do think Real Madrid will go through, because I think fortunes are changing for them. and they had a fighting performance on the weekend. I do expect them to sneak through.
Okay, so let me put your head in the line as well real quickly, Sheps. It's going to be Arsenal or Porto, and United or AC Milan?
I really fear for Arsenal. I think, you know, Porto has got a lot about them, even though Arsenal's got the away goal, because Arsenal attacking Porto on the counter attack have a lot about them. So it will not surprise me if Arsenal get knocked out.
Right.
Man United should have the advantage over Milan. Milan will score at Old Trafford, but then again, Manchester United also will score. So Man United to go through. Arsenal, in my opinion, could get knocked out. I mean, I hope they don't get knocked out, but I think that's the most difficult tie.
All right. Thank you very much, Sheps. Great one. Thanks for the great email, Zol. You've picked up a nice prize courtesy of Adidas. And if you're a Maybank account holder as well, do let us know. You'll also take home a Maybank pack consisting of a Maybank bag and an Adidas Premium. To write to us, just like Zol did, drop us a line at football@thestar.com.my. It is time for our second break here on the show, but we'll be right back with more football chat and banter on Football Everyday, brought to you by Maybank Premier Accounts. So stay tuned and we'll catch you real soon. You're back with us on Football Everyday, brought to you by Maybank Premier Accounts, on the third and final segment of the show, and this is where we preview the weekend's mouth-watering and eye-catching fixtures. Sheps, starting with the big one at Stamford Bridge. Well, not big one, but Gianfranco Zola returns to Stamford Bridge with West Ham taking on Chelsea. Bro, the Hammers are back in the relegation dogfight, right? Following the 2-1 loss to Bolton. You know, so how do you see them approaching this one against the league leaders?
I think it was a psychological blow to lose at home to Bolton. Yes, they made mistakes. I thought James Tompkins was responsible for the second goal, but you know, they got to bounce back. And if Chelsea think they're going to have it easy, I think they'll be wrong.
Right.
I think, you know, Zola would have fired up his squad. I think there's some wonderful, talented footballers in the team as well. So I'm going to stick my neck out and say I think West Ham good for a point.
Draw, right. I mean, look, Lampard and John Terry both scored in their FA Cup tie against Stoke. So the focus will once again be on them, right? I mean, especially John Terry, bro.
Yeah, unfortunately, everything is going to be focused on him. I thought Drogba had a bit of a, you know, Drogba was brilliant 1 minute and then, you know, not brilliant at all the next minute. Right. Inconsistency, but the legs in midfield, I thought, you know, I thought they had a very difficult game against Stoke. So again, you know, I think the players, Lampard and Terry, in my opinion, are not really playing well.
Right.
Sometimes you score a goal and people think, you know, you're world class. Of course, you score a goal, but performance-wise, both of these boys will have to do much better.
Okay, just give me a score prediction very quickly then.
I'm going to go with a draw. I think it'll be a score draw.
All right, great one. So over at Old Trafford, Sheps, Man United welcomed bogey team Fulham. I tell you, Sheps, United lost badly on their visit to Craven Cottage earlier this season. So but Fulham's performance levels have dropped, I think, of late, you know. So you think United can avenge that defeat this weekend?
It will be interesting because Fulham are involved in the Europa League as well. Yeah. Yes, I think they will be distracted. They can be distracted. And for Man United, it's revenge. Yeah. And when, you know, they don't often lose to the same team twice in the same season. Yeah. So Man United to win this again.
Okay, score? What's the score?
I'm going to go with a 2-1. Narrow win, but 2-1.
Win. Okay, well, as long as United win, I'm happy, man. Okay, over at the KC Stadium, struggling Hull play host to Arsenal. Sheps, Hull can't seem to defend at all for the moment, right? I mean, most would expect them to struggle against the Gunner style of play. Right?
They should struggle. I mean, that midfield once again, you know, hasn't got the legs to last 90 minutes, to last an hour, never mind 90 minutes. So and that is where Arsenal are strongest in midfield with their mobility, with their agility. But it will be tough. So I'm going to go with a Hull 1, Arsenal 2.
But 3 points for Arsenal.
3 points for Arsenal.
Okay. Over at St Andrews, a battle of blues sees Birmingham square off against informed Everton. Bro, you see anything separating these two? You know, and if yes, what would that be?
It's difficult. I think you know, Birmingham, after getting knocked out of the FA Cup, you know, cannot afford to lose. They had a good side, very solid, very steady. When I look at the two teams and I think who's got the advantage, neither one. I'm going to go with a draw.
Draw.
Score draw though.
All right, so it's going to be interesting weekend of football, I tell you. Bro, just before we leave, as usual, today's Football Everyday fun fact is on Wigan's match winner, Hugo Rodallega. Bro, did you know that Rodallega's nickname is Rodagol? Bro, I mean, as inconsistent as Wigan may be, I tell you what, the Latics will hope Rodagol keeps on scoring, right? If they're going to stay up.
I mean, they have to. And for me, I think, will Rodallega still be there? I think he could do a job for a much better club, club in a higher position. I mean, he could do a job for Fulham, for Everton, for example. He could provide options for Spurs, for Liverpool perhaps. So the question would be, can they hang on to him? But I thought his nickname was H-Rod.
Shebs, I mean, since we're still in Wigan, just before we go off, what do you think of Roberto Martinez and his long-term future at the club?
I think he's there to stay. I think it's been a first season for him. It's been a difficult first season, but like I said, I mean they're not at all bad. So they will have to look at the wins over Chelsea, over Liverpool, and say this is the level. This is the level at which we need to be playing consistently. And I'm sure Roberto Martinez will add to the squad, and I think he's there to stay for a while.
All right, great stuff, bro. As usual, coming from you.
A pleasure.
Pleasure it's been, bro. Great to have you with us in the show. Well, that's about all we have for you on today's edition of Football Everyday, brought to you by Maybank Premier Accounts. So until we see you next week, Nelson saying ciao, enjoy your football, and have a good weekend.